Dylan, that's actually really funny. Hi guys, good to see you. Yeah, dog. Remember when Aaron called and hell? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm hungry. I don't know about anybody else, and I ate. I had like cereal. I mixed two different cereals too, together with some oat milk. It was delicious. Um. All right, so we're almost done. We're almost done with book one. Technically, we would be on chapter 15 today. However, I canceled one of the streams last week, so technically we'd be on chapter 16 tomorrow, and there's only 17 chapters. So we're doing really, really well. Not gonna lie. Minus the oat milk. Oat milk is delicious. I'm just, I don't know. Ever since I thought of it this way, like, I don't mind having cheese every once in a while and like cream cheese here and there, but straight up drinking milk, if you really think about it, think of it this way. Okay, think of it this way. Chances are, unless you were starving, trapped on an island or something like that, you would think it gross drinking your wife's breast milk or your mom's breast milk. I just don't see any type of, it just does not sound appealing. Right? And that's human-made milk. Yet you're okay with drinking the quote-unquote breast milk of another animal just fine. I don't know. I just think that, yeah. Sorry. I just don't drink. It's pasteurized. I like how I like how that makes it okay. It's pasteurized. Yeah, because that's hilarious. So I'll stick with oat milk. Yeah, or some type of, yeah. Anyway, so let's go over last time with Nicholas Flamel. Okay. All right, Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 13, Nicholas Flamel. This is what we read last time. Oh, I know, I nailed it. Trust me. Ever since you gave me shit, Dylan, I'm going to get that name correct. I'm just really upset, like how I'm going to butcher other names that I know I'm going to come across. So, they had another Quidditch match. Snape was refereeing. Dumbledore was watching the match. So it calmed Harry, right? Because remember, they think Snape was the one trying to sabotage it before. But those that watched the movies or read the books know it wasn't him. Then you've got Harry catches the snitch. Gryffindor wins. That should be capital, shouldn't it? Gryffindor wins. Harry catches Snape's rendezvous with Quirrell. Harry suspects he wants what's possibly the Philosopher's Stone. That fluffy... Thank you, Marcello. It's been a while since you cheered.
I'm using my last 5 cheers to interrupt you. Playful face. Also, it's 1:04 a.m. Playful face.
Okay.
Cool face.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Harry catches Snape's rendezvous with Quirrell. Harry suspects he wants what's possibly the Philosopher's Stone that Fluffy is guarding. Okay. So, I say we get right into it. We've got the loons and crickets in the background along with a nice fire going. It is actually nice. It's a nice night for like just a little mini outback fire, but All right, I say I start reading. So this is chapter 14, Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback. Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback. Let's do this. Quirrell, however... I already messed up. Quirrell, however, must have been braver than they thought. In the weeks that followed, he did seem to be getting paler and thinner, but it didn't look as though he'd cracked yet. Every time they passed the third-floor corridor, Harry, Ron, and Hermione would press their ears to the door to check that Fluffy was still growling inside. Snape was sweeping about in his usual bad temper, which surely meant that the stone was still safe. Whenever Harry passed Quirrell these days, he gave him an encouraging sort of smile. Whenever Harry passed Quirrell, he gave him an encouraging sort of smile. And Ron had started telling people off for laughing at Quirrell's stutter. So they started kind of empathizing with Quirrell. But isn't Quirrell like the, I don't know. Bye, Marcello. Have a safe trip back, please. Isn't Quirrell the, The antagonist? Like the real one? Yeah, I think he is. If I remember. So it's like they're showing sympathy to him, but they shouldn't be. You don't get to know that. I'm sorry, Dylan. You're right. Okay. All right. You're right. I'm ruining it. I'm sorry. The movie's ruined it. Okay. Laughing at Quirrell's stutter. Hermione, however, I do love the writing, though. I mean, it really is good writing. I can't get over it. I'm glad I watched the movies first. I'm not going to lie. Hermione, however, had more on her mind than the Philosopher's Stone. She had started drawing up revision timetables of color coding all her notes. Harry and Ron wouldn't have minded, but she kept nagging them to do the same. Hermione, the exams are ages away. Let's see. 10 weeks, Hermione snapped. That's not ages. That's like a second to Nicholas Flamel. But we're not 600 years old, Ron reminded her. Anyway, what are you revising for? You already know it all. What am I revising for? Are you mad? You realize we need to pass these exams to get into second year? To get into the second year? They're very important. I should have started studying a month ago. I don't know what's gotten into me. Unfortunately, the teachers seemed to be thinking along the same lines as Hermione. They piled so much homework on them that the Easter holidays weren't nearly as much fun as the Christmas ones. It was hard to relax with Hermione next to you reciting the 12 uses of dragon's blood or practicing wand movements. Moaning and yawning, Harry and Ron spent most of their free time in the library with her trying to get through all their extra work. I'll never remember this, Ron burst out one afternoon, throwing down his quill and looking longingly out the library window. It was the first really fine day they'd had in months. That was literally today. The sky was a clear, forget-me-not blue, and there was a feeling in the air of summer coming. Okay, that wasn't today. I'm going to snooze this ad so I could just keep on reading. Yeah, today was like really gloomy, and I love that. And it was nice and chilly, and it was a kind of sort of breeze. So it was really, really beautiful out today. Harry, who was looking up Dittany in 1,000 Magical Herbs and Fungi, didn't look up until he heard Ron say, Hagrid, what are you doing in the library? Hagrid shuffled into view, hiding something behind his back. He looked very out of place in his moleskin overcoat. Just looking, he said in a shifty voice that got their interest at once. And what are you up to? What are you lot up to? He looked suddenly suspicious. You're not looking for Nicholas Flamel, are you? Oh, we found out who he is ages ago, said Ron impressively. And we know what that dog's guarding. It's a philosopher's stone. Shh. Harry looked around quickly to see if anyone was listening. Don't go shouting about it. What's the matter with you? There are a few things we want to ask you. As a matter of fact, said Harry, about what's guarding the stones apart. About what's guarding the stone apart from Fluffy. Shh, said Hagrid again. Listen, come and see me later. I'm not promising I'll tell you anything, mind, but don't go rabbiting about it in here. Students aren't supposed to know. They'll think I've told you. See you later then, said Harry. Hagrid shuffled off. What was he hiding behind his back, said Hermione thoughtfully. Do you think it had anything to do with the stone? I'm going to see what section he was in, said Ron, who'd had enough of working. He came back a minute later with a pile of books in his arms and slammed them down on the table. Dragons, he whispered. Hagrid was looking up stuff about dragons. Look at these. Dragon species of Great Britain and Ireland, from egg to inferno, a dragon keeper's guide. Hagrid's always wanted a dragon. He told me so the first time I ever met him, said Harry. I can substitute on a break, so enjoy the writing part. Oh, okay. Okay. But it's against our laws, said Ron. Dragon breeding was outlawed by the Warlocks Convention of 1709. Everyone knows that. It's hard to stop muggles noticing us if we're keeping dragons in the back garden. Anyway, you can't tame dragons. It's dangerous. You should see the burns Charlie's got off... I got you. You should see the burns Charlie's got off wild ones in Romania. But there aren't wild dragons in Britain, said Harry. Of course there are, said Ron. Common Welsh green and Hebridean, I hope that I said that right. Hebridean blacks? I hope I said that right. The Ministry of Magic has a job hushing them up. Whenever I'm stuttering, I'm honestly thinking of something else. I'm thinking of Dylan calling me up and on my phone and correcting me. Oh my God. The Ministry of Magic has a job hushing them up, I can tell you. Our lot have to keep putting spells on muggles who've spotted them to make them forget. I have hair in my mouth. How? My dog. Ugh. Got the mobile ready. That's funny. So what on earth's Hagrid up to? Said Hermione. Notice my background, huh? Huh? I wonder what that is. My background. I like how my background sometimes foreshadow. When they knocked on the door of the gamekeeper's hut an hour later, they were surprised to see that all the curtains were closed. Hagrid called, "Who is it?" before he let them in, and then shut the door quickly behind them. It was stiflingly hot inside. Even though it was such a warm day, there was a blazing fire in the grate. Hagrid made them tea and offered them stoat sandwiches, which they refused. So you want to ask me something? Yes, said Harry. There was no point beating around the bush. We were wondering if you could tell us what's guarding the Philosopher's Stone apart from Fluffy. Hagrid frowned at him. Oh, of course I can't, he said. Number one, I don't know myself. I don't know meself. Number two, you know too much already. So, wouldn't tell you if I could. That stone's here for good reason. It was almost stolen out of Gringotts. I suppose you worked that out, and all. Beats me. God, he's a tough read. Beats me how you even know about Fluffy. Oh, come on, Hagrid. I'm gonna snooze. Wait, did you say I could just keep reading? Because everybody is. There were 4 viewers, so I'm gonna snooze. What did I tell you? If it could, beats me how you didn't even know. Oh, come on, Hagrid. You might not want to tell us, but you do know. You know everything that goes on around here, said Hermione in a warm, flattering voice. I guess my voice wasn't that warm and flattering. Hagrid's beard twitched, and they could tell he was smiling. We only wondered who had done the guarding. Really? Hermione went on. We wondered who Dumbledore had trusted enough to help him apart from you. Hagrid's chest swelled at these last words. Harry and Ron beamed at Hermione. Well, I don't suppose it could hurt to tell you that. Let's see. He borrowed Fluffy from me. Then some of the other teachers did enchantments. Professor Sprout, Professor Flitwick, Professor McGonagall. He ticked them off on his fingers. I love it. Professor Quirrell and Dumbledore himself did something, of course. Hang on, I've forgotten someone. Oh yeah, Professor Snape. Snape? Yeah, you're not still on about that, are you? Look, Snape helped protect the stone. He's not about to steal it. Harry knew Ron and Hermione were thinking the same as he was. If Snape had been in on protecting the stone, it must have been easy to find out how the other teachers had guarded it. He probably knew everything except, it seemed, Quirrell's spell and how to get past Fluffy. I like how they're pinning it on Snape. I like that because it makes for a good twist. You know, it's pretty smart. You're the only one who knows how to get past Fluffy, aren't you, Hagrid? Said Harry anxiously. And you wouldn't tell anyone, would you? Not even one of the teachers? Not a soul knows except me and Dumbledore, he said. Hagrid said proudly. Well, that's something, Harry muttered to the others. Hagrid, can we have a window open? I'm boiling. Can't, Harry. Sorry, said Hagrid. Hagrid noticed him glance at the fire. Harry looked at it too. Hagrid, what's that? But he already knew what it was. In the very heart of the fire, underneath the kettle, was a huge black egg. Ah, said Hagrid, fiddling nervously with his beard. That's, where did you get it, Hagrid? Said Ron, crouching over the fire to get a closer look at the egg. It must have cost you a fortune. Won it, said Hagrid. Last night, I was down in the village, having a few drinks, and got into a game of cards with a stranger. Think he was quite glad, to get rid of it, to be honest. But what are you going to do with it when it hatches? Said Hermione. Well, I've been doing some reading, said Hagrid, pulling a large book from under his pillow. Got this out of the library. Dragon breeding for pleasure and profit. It's a bit out of date, of course, but it's all in here. Keep the egg in the fire, because their mothers breathe on them, see, when it hatches. Feed it a bucket of brandy mixed with chicken blood every half hour. And see here, how to recognize different eggs. What I got there is a Norwegian Ridgeback. They're rare. So this picture in the back, that's what the Norwegian Ridgeback looks like. Not that anybody in the chat needs any of this. He looked very pleased with himself, but Hermione didn't. Hagrid, you live in a wooden house, she said. But Hagrid wasn't listening. He was humming merrily as he stoked the fire. All right. So far, so good. So now they had something else to worry about. What might happen to Hagrid if someone found out he was hiding an illegal dragon in his hut? I wonder what it's like to have a peaceful life, Ron sighed, as evening after evening they struggled through all the extra homework they were getting. Hermione had now started making revision timetables for Harry and Ron, too. It was driving them mad. Then, one breakfast time, Hedwig brought Harry another note from Hagrid. Okay, so Hedwig... Oh, I forgot Hedwig! Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Shame on me. Shame on me. Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Wait. Where is my chair? Where does my chair end? I'm trying. I know. Okay. I'm coming. Okay. Oh my God. Hedwig, where is Hedwig? I can't even see Hedwig. Okay. All right. Oh my God. All right, can we see Hedwig now? Jeez Louise. Shame on me. Shame on me. Okay, I'm doing this again. Snoozing another. Then one breakfast time, Hedwig brought Harry another note from Hagrid. He had written only 2 words. It's hatching. Ron wanted to skip herbology and go straight down to the hut. Hermione wouldn't hear of it. Hermione, how many times in our lives are we going to see a dragon hatching? We've got lessons. We'll get into trouble, and that's nothing to what Hagrid's going to be in when someone finds out what he's doing. Shut up, Harry whispered. Malfoy was only a few feet away, and he had stopped dead to listen. How much had he heard? Harry didn't like the look of Malfoy's face at all. Who does like the look of Malfoy's face? He's such a meanie. Ron and Hermione argued all the way to herbology, and in the end, Hermione agreed to run down to Hagrid's with the other 2 during morning break. When the bells sounded from the castle at the end of their lesson, the 3 of them dropped their towels at once and hurried through the grounds to the edge of the forest. Hagrid greeted them, looking flushed and excited. "It's nearly out!" He ushered them inside. The egg was lying on the table. There were deep cracks in it. Something was moving inside. A funny clicking noise was coming from it. They all drew their chairs up to the table and watched with bated breath. All at once, there was a scraping noise, and the egg split open. The baby dragon flopped onto the table. It wasn't exactly pretty. Harry thought it looked like a crumpled black umbrella. Its spiny wings were huge compared to its skinny jet body, and it had a long snout with wide nostrils, stubs of horns, and bulging orange eyes. Okay, well, not for nothing. This one in the picture, which is from the movie, does not look black, and it doesn't have orange eyes. So, why couldn't they stick to those details? Unless this is just a really bad picture, but, I mean... Hey, King Cod! How are you? Hi, King Cod. I hope you are well. Don't mind me. I'm reading Harry Potter as it's Harry Potter. Why am I typing this? Why am I typing this? As is tomorrow. I don't know why I just typed that when the person can hear me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Where was I now? Oh, my God. Okay. Let's see. Hold on, I'm getting there. Yeah, that's right. Stubs of horns, bulging orange eyes. I don't know why they couldn't just stick to that in the movie. I guess King Kong Cod came and left. I don't know. It sneezed. Oh, the cute little dragon sneezed. A couple of sparks flew out of its snout. That's cute. Isn't he beautiful? Hagrid murmured. He reached out a hand to stroke the dragon's head. It snapped at his fingers, showing pointed fangs. Bless him. Look, he knows he's... That's funny. Bless him, look. He knows his mommy. He knows his mommy. That's funny, said Hagrid. Hagrid, said Hermione, how fast do Norwegian Ridgebacks grow exactly? Hagrid was about to answer when the color suddenly drained from his face. He leaped to his feet and ran to the window. What's the matter? Someone was looking through the gap in the curtains. It's a kid. He's running back up to the school. Harry bolted to the door and looked out. Even at a distance, there was no mistaking him. Malfoy had seen the dragon. You know, do they know Avada Kedavra yet or whatever it's called? Just kill him. Just get rid of him. I'm tired of these people. Something about the smile lurking on Malfoy's face during the next week made Harry, Ron, and Hermione very nervous. They spent most of their free time in Hagrid's darkened hut, trying to reason with him. Just let him go, Harry urged. Set him free. I can't, said Hagrid. He's too little. It'll die. They looked at the dragon. It had grown 3 times in length in just a week. Smoke kept furling out of its nostrils. Hagrid hadn't been doing his gamekeeping duties because the dragon was keeping him so busy. There were empty brandy bottles and chicken feathers all over the floor. This dragon's an alcoholic, if you ask me. I've decided to call him Norbert, said Hagrid, looking at the dragon with misty eyes. He really knows me now. Watch. Norbert, where's Mommy? He's lost his marbles, Ron muttered in Harry's ear. Hagrid, said Harry loudly, give it a fortnight and Norbert's going to be as long as your house. Malfoy could go to Dumbledore at any moment. Hagrid bit his lip. I know I can't keep him forever, but I can't just dump him. I can't. Harry suddenly turned to Ron. Charlie, he said. You're losing it too, said Ron. I'm Ron, remember? That's funny. No, Charlie, your brother Charlie in Romania studying dragons. We could send Norbert to him. Charlie can take care of him and then put him back in the wild. Brilliant, said Ron. How about it, Hagrid? And in the end, Hagrid agreed that they could send an owl to Charlie to ask him. All right, so they're going to send poor Norbert away. So I'm wondering, this I don't know. I don't know this, even from the movies. I don't remember the movies in that much detail. But I'm curious to see if Norbert's going to, make another... If he does wind up going away, if he makes another, appearance. The following week dragged by. Wednesday night found Hermione and Harry sitting alone in the common room long after everyone else had gone to bed. The clock on the wall had just chimed midnight when the portrait hole burst open. Ron appeared out of nowhere as he pulled off Harry's invisibility cloak. He had been down at Hagrid's hut helping him feed Norbert, who was now eating dead rats by the crate. He was eating dead rats by the crate full, It bit me, he said, showing them his hand, which was wrapped in a bloody handkerchief. I'm not going to be able to hold a quill for a week. I tell you, that dragon's the most horrible animal I've ever met. But the way Hagrid goes on about it, you'd think it was a fluffy little bunny rabbit. When it bit me, he told me off for frightening it. And when I left, he was singing it a lullaby. There was a tap on the dark window. It's Hedwig, said Harry, hurrying to let her in. She'll have Charlie's answer. The 3 of them put their heads together to read the note. All right, here's the note. That's illegal. Oh, you, Dylan, of all people. The 3 of them put theirs together and read the note. Dear Ron, how are you? Thanks for the letter. I'd be glad to take the Norwegian Ridgeback, but it won't be easy getting him here. I think the best thing will be to send him over with some friends of mine who are coming to visit me next week. Trouble is, they mustn't be seen carrying an illegal dragon. Could you get the Ridgeback up the tallest tower at midnight on Saturday? They can meet you there and take him away while it's still dark. Send me an answer as soon as possible. Love, Charlie. They looked at each other. We've got the invisibility cloak, said Harry. It shouldn't be too difficult. I think the cloak's big enough to cover 2 of us and Norbert. It was a mark of how bad the last week had been that the other 2 agreed with him. Anything to get rid of Norbert and Malfoy. There was a hitch. By next morning, Ron's bitten hand had swollen to twice its usual size. He didn't know whether it was safe to go to Madame Pomfrey. Would she recognize a dragon bite? By the afternoon, though, he had no choice. The cut had turned a nasty shade of green. Okay. The cut had turned a nasty shade of green. Okay. Is everybody in here? Everybody in here is a subscriber, I think. Everybody watching? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading. Is that okay? Everybody can hear me? Yes? All right, I'm going to keep reading. All right. We have an unknown, do we? Meowsers. We have an unknown. Do we have an unknown? I guess so. Miedo, Dylan, and King Cod. I don't know who. I mean, there was less than a minute. I'm going to continue reading. Turned a nasty shade of green. It looked as if Norbert's fangs were poisonous. Harry and Hermione rushed up to the hospital wing at the end of the day to find Ron in a terrible state in bed. "It's not just my hand," he whispered, "although that feels like it's about to fall off. Malfoy told Madame Pomfrey he wanted to borrow one of my books so he could come and have a good laugh at me. He kept threatening to tell her what really bit me. I've told her it was a dog, but I don't think she believes me. I shouldn't have hit him at the Quidditch match. That's why he's doing this." Harry and Hermione tried to calm Ron down. "It'll all be over at midnight on Saturday," said Hermione, but this didn't soothe Ron at all. On the contrary, he sat bolt upright and broke into a sweat. "Midnight on Saturday," he said in a hoarse voice. Oh no, I've just remembered Charlie's letter was in that book Malfoy took. He's going to know we're getting rid of Norbert." Harry and Hermione didn't get a chance to answer. Madame Pomfrey came over at that moment and made them leave, saying Ron needed sleep. Uh-oh. Malfoy's just ruining things. "It's too late to change the plan now," Harry told Hermione. "We haven't gotten time to send Charlie another owl, and this can be our only chance to get rid of Norbert. We'll have to risk it. And we have got the invisibility cloak. Malfoy doesn't know about that." They found Fang, the boarhound, sitting outside with a bandaged tail when they went to tell Hagrid, who opened... That's funny. Okay, so the boarhound was sitting outside with a bandaged tail, so the dragon bit him too, who opened a window to talk to them. I won't let you in," he puffed. "Norbert's at a tricky stage. Nothing I can't handle." When they told him about Charlie's letter, his eyes filled with tears, although that might have been because Norbert had just bitten him on the leg. That's actually funny. "Arg, it's all right. He only got my boot. He's just playing. He's only a baby after all." I love how like compassionate he is with this thing. The baby banged its tail on the wall, making the windows rattle. Harry and Hermione walked back to the castle, feeling Saturday couldn't come quickly enough. They would have felt sorry for Hagrid when the time came for him to say goodbye to Norbert if they hadn't been so worried about what they had to do. It was a very dark, cloudy night, and they were a bit late arriving at Hagrid's hut because they had to wait for Peeves to get out of their way in the entrance hall, where he'd been playing tennis against the wall. Hagrid had Norbert packed and ready in a large crate. "Come to die," my brother said, the boy who lived. He's got lots of rats and some brandy for the journey," said Hagrid in a muffled voice. "And I've packed a teddy bear in case he gets lonely." From inside the crate came ripping noises that sounded to Harry as though Teddy was having his head torn off. That poor teddy bear. "Bye-bye, Norbert," Hagrid sobbed as Harry and Hermione covered the crate with the invisibility cloak and stepped underneath it themselves. "Mummy will never forget you." How they managed to get the crate back up to the castle they never knew. Midnight ticked nearer as they heaved Norbert up the marble staircase in the entrance hall and along the dark corridors. Up another staircase, then another. Even one of Harry's shortcuts didn't make the work much easier. "Nearly there," Harry panted as they reached the corridor beneath the tallest tower. Then a sudden movement ahead of them made them almost drop the crate. Forgetting that they were already invisible, they shrank into the shadows, staring at the dark outlines of two people grappling with each other 10 feet away. A lamp flared. Professor McGonagall in a tartan dressing gown and a hairnet, and Malfoy by the ear. Oh, good. She had Malfoy by the ear. Good. She caught him. He was going to ruin things. But look who it is. She got him good. Oh, Habit's here. This is cool. "Detention," she shouted, "and 20 points from Slytherin, wandering around in the middle of the night. How dare you?" "You don't understand, Professor. Harry Potter's coming. He's got a dragon." "What utter rubbish. How dare you tell such lies? Come on. I shall see Professor Snape about you, Malfoy." That's funny. So he's telling the truth, and now he's not believed because he's an ass. The steep spiral staircase up to the top of the tower seemed the easiest thing in the world after that. Not until they'd step out into the cold night air did they throw off the cloak. Glad to be able to breathe properly again. Hermione did a sort of jig. "Malfoy's got detention. I can sing." "Don't," Harry advised her. Chuckling about Malfoy, they waited. Norbert thrashing about in his crate. About 10 minutes later, 4 broomsticks came swooping down out of the darkness. Charlie's friends were a cheery lot. They showed Harry and Hermione the harness they rigged up so they could suspend Norbert between them. They all helped buckle Norbert safely into it, and then Harry and Hermione shook hands with the others and thanked them very much. At last, Norbert was gone. They slipped back down the spiral staircase, their hearts as light as their hands, now that Norbert was off of them. No more dragon, Malfoy in detention. What could spoil their happiness? The answer to that was waiting at the front door of at the foot of the stairs. As they stepped into the corridor, Filch's face loomed suddenly out of the darkness. Well, 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 he whispered. We are in trouble. They'd left the invisibility cloak on top of the tower. Ah. Damn. They messed that up, didn't they? How do you forget the invisibility cloak, though? I mean, could you imagine having an invisibility cloak? That thing is so badass. The next chapter is pretty lengthy. It's a good 19 pages, 20 pages? No, 20 pages. Yeah. All right. Well, so let's see what happened here. Let us fill this in. Hagrid hides Hagrid nurses. Well, he doesn't really nurse, right? No, really. Hagrid houses an illegal dragon egg. It hatches. The three musketeers. Am I going to spell this right? Uh-oh. I guess so. Musketeer. Yep. Okay, we're good. I think they spelled it, so I think that spelled it. Okay. The 3 musketeers, we know who those are. I'm not spelling out every single name. I mean, Harry, Hermione, and Ron. I could do that. Okay. The 3 musketeers witness after discussing the Phil Stone being protected by Fluffy. 3-headed hound. Okay. Malfoy, this is not really that important though. Malfoy finds out, tries to stop them, the main 3, from sending the dragon to Charlie in another region. Mal caught by Professor McGonagall. The 3 was it? Wait. Harry and Hermione caught. What was his name again? Filch. Caught by Filch. They forgot the invis cloak after the mission. And that's really how it ended. So, not bad, not bad. Let's get next week set up. Could have sworn I had this week. I actually had to do that. This is going to be chapter 15. And chapter 15 is the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest. We're going to set this back to font 30. Ah! Not 302. Holy Jesus. Whew! Well, that was huge. It's going to be huge, Caroline. It's going to be huge. Okay. I think we're good. Let's see. Imagine spelling musketeers wrong. Okay, Mino. Don't even get me started. I don't want to even hear you people. You guys are making fun of me. Why is Miro making fun of me? This is so mean. I don't deserve this. Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure. Tomorrow, I'll be reading chapter 15. Okay, so that's a good 20 pages. And, yeah, life is good. And you all have a good day. Hug someone you love. Be safe. And I'll talk to you later. Bye. Why am I waiting? What? Why am I waiting? Gay Baza? Like, why? I wasn't listening to, and that's all he gives us. What? Why are you ending? Explain to me, because it's only been 30. Okay, so I talk the majority of the day. I teach. So I lecture. And that takes a toll on one's voice, believe it or not. And the next chapter is a good 20 pages long. So, yeah. And now you're being lectured again. Therefore, I am going to take it easy on how much I speak because I am tired. I love you. And I'm grateful you're here, even though Habit was late, way late. Okay. And, yeah. So that's why I'm leaving. I read a chapter. I even get background. Oh, I have to change that, actually. I even get background. I look up for you guys. All that fun stuff. And you have the nerve to say, play for me, monkey. No, that's not how it works. Lo siento. Not happening. So, I'm going to set this at background now. Yay! And that's that. Now, salami's good. Now, again, let's do this again. Chad feels bad. I don't know what's going on. Why? Did you send me art? No one. I don't have any art or anything like that. So I can go. I can go in peace. I love you guys. Hug someone you love. I don't. You're right. I usually have the gown on. But I don't have, or robe. I don't have the robe on. You know?